Well, hello, my name is Russ Milheim from The Direct. It's great to speak with you today.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Congratulations on Tarot. Quite the scary feature you have there.
Yes, I actually believe it's very scary.
My first question I have to ask, what is your personal experience with tarot cards?
Ooh, that's a good question. I only recently started learning about cards and because there's like angel cards and animal cards and tarot cards, but I started getting readings maybe a couple years ago, and to be honest, they've always been very eerily accurate. So I believe it.
Hopefully not as accurate as the ones in this film, at least in the
No,
same way.
no, no curse decks. No curse decks.
Now, if you were to go out and buy your own tarot deck, what theme would you choose? Because, I don't do tarot myself, but I see all these different unique themes from what movie shows or whatever. What would you choose?
Oh, I didn't know there were themes. But if I wanted an aesthetic, I would want them to be like shiny, maybe, have something to do with the galaxies, like moon and stars. I just really love space.
I was talking to Jacob, and he mentioned he might go with Pokemon.
Of
So,
course, you would. Yep. Yeah, you would.
now the movie's actually based on a 1992 book called Horoscope. Are you familiar with the book?
I wasn't familiar with the book. I know that it's an adaptation of it, and I think the creators just kind of took inspiration from it and made their like brand new thing. But I love that it's based off of something, and now we've created kind of like a new iteration of it.
Can you talk about how you and the cast built, the dynamic as a close friend group, both on and off set? Because from what I hear, it was a very unique filming experience.
Yes, so we were in Belgrade, Serbia, which already that's so far removed from anything that we all know. Most of us live in North America, so it allows you to bond quite quick because we do not know anybody there. It's a completely different language and culture. So it was really fun to adventure together, honestly. And the cast, we really gelled together right away. And especially with ensembles, you have to feel the banter and you feel it right away when the movie starts. It's the first shot that you see, it's literally all of us like hanging out, like literally just like sharing stories, making fun of each other and laughing. And I remember that day specifically, it was like late at night and you could have been rolling the entire time because I think we kept improvising and we kept throwing things and kind of like bantering with each other. So right from the start, I think you feel that sense of like a group of friends who've been friends for a long time, even though we had just met and we were in a completely foreign place.
We talked a lot about, already how the movie is scary. Lots of chilling things happen. So, what do you think? How do you think tarot will unsettle audiences the most?
Honestly, I think visually it's it's almost like a fantasy watching it. I love that when the cards come to life, it is all practical effects. We had real people who were like contortionists and knew how to scare you in real life. Like even watching them when we were on set, it was terrifying. So it really comes through the screen alongside the editing and the sound design. You have an incredible script that comes together. Like I felt uneasy the entire time. I think the suspense is built through all of these elements visually and hearing how the music kind of plays it out. And there's a lot of really fun jump scares throughout the entire film. Some of them are real jump scares, some are just us like popping out of nowhere. So it just like you laugh and then you're like, okay, I'm safe. And then boom, it gets you again. So that uneasiness is it moves fast and it's quick. The movie's only an hour and a half. And I feel like it goes by so fast and you're just like on this roller coaster ride. So it's really fun to watch with friends. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Which of those tarot cards would you say is the scariest?
Oh, okay, so the Hanged Man is really scary. He is an actual contortionist. He does like circus work and stuff like that. And watching him stretch was even scary. Like him in his regular clothes, I was like, I don't know how people bend like that. And you to get me. But honestly, all of them are really scary in their own unique way. I would say the Hermit was really scary too. That scene was like late at night and it's just like a really dark figure from any angle. I was like, nope, can't look at it. There were just so many moments, and I was like, I know this isn't real, but I'm so scared to go up and be like, hi.
I think the clown for me is very well
Oh,
designed. I'm like,
yeah.
ugh.
That one I didn't get to see in person, which I'm glad because I'm not really fond of clowns. So yeah,
It might have stuck with you
yeah,
forever.
I know. It's a thing of nightmares, these creatures. Yeah.
Now, for you outside of the movie, if you had to come across one of those cards in person, which one would be a cakewalk or close to it?
Ugh. Maybe let's say like the Empress. And that one's really scary because like you've seen a lot of her, I think, in the trailer and some of the things that we've shared. Um, but yeah, I'm fascinated by the work that they did. It's unreal. Yeah.
Now, avoiding spoilers, characters do obviously die in this movie. So when that happens, when was there any sort of tradition on set, like when someone dies on screen, did they get a party thrown for them, or maybe a cake baked? Was there like some sort of a tradition that happened?
It's more of like a nice dying, dude. High five. Like, damn, you die really well. Honestly, I think for any actor, you could ask them. It's really fun to die on screen or to get hurt on screen or have like a near death on screen. People are always like, "Oh, I hope I die today." And that's in any other like business. I don't think you would say that, but I think as an actor, it's just fun to like, lean into that world and see if you can trick your brain into actually believing it. Yeah.
Now, barring whatever happens to your character in this movie, say a sequel is made, would you would you be open for finding a way to be involved no matter what?
Heck yes. Yes. I loved the team. I loved Anna and Spencer, our directors. And if we get to go out to Europe again and shoot a sequel, that would be amazing. So yes.
I wanna pivot real quick. You play Vess in the upcoming Star Wars Outlaws game.
Yes.
It's obviously not out yet, but have you thought about what it would be like to maybe eventually bring that character to life in live action?
Oh, absolutely. And I hope they do because the story itself is canon. There's so much to explore. And I feel like people would love her in real life.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would be a dream for sure.
If you could choose any Star Wars character to interact with, whether that be in the game, in a future game, or in a show or a movie, or whatever, who do you want to see your character?
I mean, the most amazing villain of all time, Darth. Absolutely.
Nice.
Like, leader hands down.
It's a good choice. Good choice. I think you and Harrow could be good together. That would be fun.
That too. That would be very fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I want to pivot back to Tarot. With the movie, what impressed you the most with how it was pulled off?
Honestly, because it takes such a long time, like the post-production process, I hadn't seen it until very recently, literally 2 weeks ago. It impressed me how it actually all got edited and put together. And usually at the end of a movie, no, there's things that get added or get taken off. And when you add the sound design, the music, the effects, the editing, it's almost like I had forgotten what the whole story was until I watched it. It just I was missing a horror movie like this that you go to the movie theater and it's so entertaining but so well done. The characters and the vision for it is really clear. Um, and so I'm excited for people to have that experience. Like I really feel like it's gonna be so fun. So I was really impressed. Not saying that I was like, oh no, this movie sucks. It was like, I know that we made like, and it's 3 months, we're shooting for so long, you almost miss pieces and you don't really know how it all comes together. And reading it off a page is so different than actually watching it. Um, I'm just really in awe of the team. I know they worked really, really hard and they curated, I think, what's going to be a classic moving forward.
Now, my last question for you. For audiences that, watch this movie, what do you want them to remember the most coming out of that theater?
Don't play with curse decks.
That's a good message. I
You
think
know
that's
what though? Because I grew up in Venezuela and they're very superstitious there. And my mom was like, don't you ever play with a Ouija board or do like any incantation of sorts because it is real and you will open a portal to the other side. I swear to you, I never will because of that. And so this is, it reminds me kind of like, um, when was like those found footage movies? Like, do you remember the Paranormal Activity ones that
Mm-hmm.
were like just really like that just allowed people to be like, oh, it's real. Is it real? Um, but I would say maybe people would want to get their tarot cards read because it isn't like in the movie, obviously, but I think um, I've met so many incredible people who do it for a living, and they're really wonderful. They have so much wealth of knowledge on what the cards mean and what it's connected to. And I feel like it'll at least allow that community to blossom and grow. And people want to be curious about getting, I don't know, knowing something about their life and their fate.
Yeah. Well, thankfully you're still around to talk about your experience with the cursed tarot deck. Um, but thank you for talking with me. I look forward to the world getting to see the movie and, whatever you have next on the slate.
Thank you so much.
Of course.